Welcome to this BVTV Merriborn Trilogy, coming to you from the UK studios of BizVision. I'm your host, Malcolm Gallagher. This is episode 3 in the trilogy with Trevor Merriden. Hello again, Trevor.
Hello there, good to be here.
Well, I thoroughly enjoyed our Bond chat later on, so I don't know how we're going to beat that one in this final C, but you say on your website that engaged communities is the most effective way to win new business, members, and interest in what you do. I get lots of people saying, thanks for joining our community, when all I've done is access a piece of their content. I'm not loyal or even an engaged member. So how can this be overcome? How can we build and sustain engaged communities online?
Well, you have to look at it in terms of two things. One is that, we've been talking previously around sort of clarity and content, and all of those things are fantastic and useful and important to get right. But communities is where a lot of that stuff comes alive. And if you think about the types of communities that we've been in sort of since the pandemic, about the way buying and selling's happened in the post-pandemic world, most business to business buyers, that's the area that I'm in, are actually adopting new models of buying and being in communities. There's a lot more virtual communities. And there's some stats from McKinsey that say only 1 in 5 business-to-business buyers want to go back to old ways, as in offline ways of buying. Business-to-business sellers, slightly more surprisingly, now say that being part of communities and selling online is at least as effective for them as the old ways. And nobody thinks that the old models are coming back, either buyers or sellers. And so you have to look at communities in that context. And so what you're doing with communities is you're getting people, whether you are selling things to people or just engaging in mutual areas of issue, to know, like, and trust you. Okay, first and foremost, that you're not, in terms of building communities within businesses, you are getting going from something, just another community, as you sort of put it, that they might or might not be part of, to be a sort of almost like a channel through which whatever they're doing, they're able to do better or more effectively or quicker as a result of the sort of expert knowledge and that you're able to sort of impart through that community. So communities need to be seen very much as a way of receiving sort of information that's not being done in a sort of hard sell kind of way, but also a two-way thing, so that actually a lot of the feedback you get from those communities is actually improving the product or service that you're selling.
Yeah. So are you saying then it's an emotional thing? I know that people want to belong. We all want to belong. So is it an emotional appeal, as distinct from, should we say, a loyalty card, which is often just about getting some discount on your supermarket spend? Yeah,
it's a completely different thing. And I appreciate that in some businesses, loyalty cards work very well. In my sort of area of business, the business to business world, that people are very, we're all sort of starved of time. We have a sort of attention deficits and things, and something's got to be quite, really pull at you in order to want to be part of and stay within a community. And I think that, so the emotion thing is really important, that actually it helps engender in the person who's just joined the community or is thinking about where they want to stay in the community, a sense of, yes, loyalty in a sort of in one respect, but also a sense that this community has a sort of collective purpose. And, for example, a good example of this might be a business, whereas in the old days, they might have produced a guru who had the last word on a subject, and they were trying to sell a product or service on the back of it. Is that very much now the way modern businesses do these things is that they have an idea or a bit of intellectual property, but they say themselves, we haven't got all the answers. No one has all the answers. So we want to engage you in the community to help us find out what's wrong with this answer, how we can improve it. Come on the journey with us. So communities are very much about taking some content or some intellectual property, that's hopefully expressed reasonably clearly, but could be improved. And the reason that's important, Malcolm, is that very few people have the answers to all the questions, and to sort of cheerfully admit that it's not just about me, some sort of guru, who has the answers, but we collectively can have the answers, which also engenders sort of customer or member loyalty as well, that you feel part of a tribe. You mentioned about belonging earlier on, and that's absolutely spot on. This sense of belonging is what sort of engenders that sort of longer term loyalty.
Yes, yeah, I guess then that belonging extends into people wanting to help the business be successful.
Yeah, and they do. And what happens as a result of that is that they say, well, I may not have a need for this product or service just at the moment, but when I do, I'm definitely going to go to those guys because because they've been part of this, that they've been helped my understanding of the business, and they seem to understand what they're talking about. And you know what, they really listen as well to what to what people are saying. So I want a responsive, agile business or community to be part of. So it kind of makes them sort of come across, authentically as kind of very genuine in what they're trying to do. And that's where you see communities flourish, where there's an emotional buy-in and a restless desire for improvement to a sort of knotty issue or challenge.
Yeah. Thanks, Trevor. Now, let me remind our audience of your URL, your website address, which obviously viewers you can see on the screen behind me. But for listeners, let me spell it out. It's all the W's, merribornmedia.co.uk. And that's MERRIBORN, merribornmedia.co.uk. Go there and find out more about Trevor and request a free download of his excellent, The New Thought Leadership Revolution. It's a lovely white paper and it will make you think. The 3 C's of Trevor's trilogy of clarity, content and communities, I believe, have given you a business today framework for success. Thanks, Trevor Merriden.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure to be on. Thank you.